Good morning everybody, welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. I hope you're all doing great and welcome to the channel if you're new as well. But in this video we're doing a full analysis and full update on Quant. A little bit of an overlooked cryptocurrency at times. Still has a very tight community, right? So if you're part of the community and you look at Quant and you talk about Quant every day, then it might sound strange that I say overlooked, but you barely hear anybody talking about Quant in the major, crypto Twitter, crypto YouTube circles. But I wanted to do a video on that. I know that there's a tight community out there. I've covered Quant for years, right? I mean, I started back in 2021, I think. So time flies, almost 4 years. So just wanted to do a full analysis, also for the reason that I actually think Quant is one of the best cryptocurrencies to trade. It's very, very reactive to technicals. As you can see right here as well, we bottomed out very nicely after a bit of a downtrend right here at the 0.618 FIB. Reclaimed this massive bundle of support levels with the 200 EMA, yearly rolling VWAP, 90-day rolling VWAP, and since then we've also seen some strength. Now I have to say, and this is not necessarily really bad, right? Because it's summer, so it's normal that there's not a lot of volume. But I have to say that the volume with this breakout, because Quant broke out, was not that great, right? Now, like I said, does that matter that much? No. But it's good to know, right? Because what we saw with Quant, with the bearish pressure that we had since the beginning of June, is that this uptrend right here, which went on from the middle of April right here, all the way until the beginning of June here, stopped, right? The uptrend was invalidated. You can see right here on the 12-hour time frame that we broke down below the trend. Then we started to drop down, like I said, into the 618 rolling VWAP and or into the 618 FIB and those rolling VWAPs, reclaimed that. So now we have solidified a bottom. I think that is the bottom, and we need to get some very bad news, very bad fundamentals to drop down below that. But now the question is all right, well, we had this resistance level right here around $100 and $103. We broke above that, and now the question is well, is another uptrend starting? Or at least that's one of the questions I had, right? Because you can see that Quant basically fell back into this area, this balance right here, and price tends to navigate from balance to balance, also previous balances. And now what I think is happening is that Quant is getting back into this balance right here. I do not think, it's a possibility of course, I mean I could be wrong, certainly, but I don't think we're going to get into an uptrend. If you take a look at every uptrend for Quant, it's always started with elevated volume. And at this point of time, we just do not have elevated volume. The volume is actually lower than what it was the week before. Or before that, and especially also when we started that rally. So we don't have the volume. We know that in the summer, uptrends rarely start, right? Historically, they rarely do. So therefore, do I think that we're going to get into an uptrend? No. What I think is more likely is that, Quant just dropped down a little bit too low with the bad news, and now it has recovered a little bit. And buyers and sellers are trying to figure out, all right, well, do we belong in this balance down here? Or do we belong in this balance right here, which was also the main balance right here, of course. It looks like a stronger balance in general, I must say. And I think it's most likely that we will get into that balance to the upside, right? So now we have left some imbalances down here. I think it's most likely we're going to fill those, and that from there we'll be able to get some balance here so that we will also be able to get a move into 118 and 120. But I do not think we're going to break out above that, right? That's the thing. I think we'll cap at that, and I think we will just find balance there. But I'm personally actually quite interested into potentially entering a trade on Quant. But that is, if you're interested in that, if you're interested in where I enter, consider joining the Signal group, in which I will post that. But you can make up your own ideas as well with this analysis, hopefully. But those are my thoughts on Quant. That's what I think is most likely here. That's what I think you need to know. So if you do have any questions, let me know. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care. And bye.